Thank you. I don't know about y'all, but I didn't wake myself up this morning. Neither did I put myself to sleep on last night. Come on, tell God thank you. Thank you, Lord. I first want to give honor to God, who is not just the head of my life, but who is my life.
Amen.
I honor and reference the Lord this morning, and I thank God for your pastor, the shepherd of this house. I thank God for him opening his doors to allow me to be a blessing to the people of God one more time.
All right.
I thank God for my son on the org, and I thank God during this season in his life being in the right place during the right time.
All right.
How many know everything is ordained by God and predestinated by God? We don't even know it. But I thank God for Jesus. I thank God for his traveling mercy. We just made it in the city. Been in a city I've never been in before, but I thank God it's a beautiful city. But I just want to let the Lord have his way. The Bible tells us in the Hebrews, the 4th chapter, in verse 16, let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in a time of need.
Right.
In other words, we can take anything to the Lord in prayer. So if you always stand on your feet all over this building, as we reference the Lord and go to the throne of grace.
All right.
Thank God for my baby son on the drums.
Amen.
Came in the video, God always have a ram in the bush. Oh, Heavenly Father, here we are, Lord, one more time. God, before we go into Father, Lord, we'd like to ask that you forgive us all of every sin we have committed before you. God, we ask that you forgive us of everything we did and said unpleasing in your eyesight. Forgive us of every wrong thought, every wrong conversation. Every spirit that did not and do not glorify you, God, we ask that you forgive us, Lord. Creating us a clean heart and renew the right spirit within us. In the mighty name of Jesus. Father, you said in your word in 1 Corinthians 1:29 that no flesh shall glory in your presence. Now, God, I ask that you crucify flesh all over this building. God, you allow Donna to sit down, and Holy Ghost, you stand up in me. In the mighty name of Jesus. Father, you said in your word in Matthew the 18th chapter and verse 18, as well as Matthew the 16th chapter and verse 19. Anything we bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Anything we loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Now, Father, I bind up every witchcraft demon, demonic voice, every mind control demon, every spirit that's not of you, I bind it up now, God. In the mighty name of Jesus. But God, we welcome you, Holy Spirit. We welcome you in this place, God. In the mighty name of Jesus, God, no matter how you use me for the upbuilding of your kingdom, I ask that you keep me humble before you, God. Keep me on my knees, God. Keep me in your word. In the mighty name of Jesus. And God, I be so careful to give your name the glory. I tell mankind that you did it. And these blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Come on, tell God thank you. Before we go into the word of the Lord, I'd just like to share my testimony. Thank you, Lord Jesus. I'm a twin. I have a twin brother. But I thank God for praying parents. My father pastored one of the largest churches in Coldwater, Mississippi for 27 years. He pastored for 36 years. But I thank God when I was born, the doctor told my mother that I would not live. And then the doctor told her, well, if she lives, she'll never walk. How many know I didn't need any assistance coming through the door today?
All right.
But I thank God when the doctor say no, Jesus still will say yes.
Amen.
And I thank God for a praying mother. She came out for a job and went on a 3-day fast, and she said the devil is a lie. My baby want to leave her. And I thank God I'm a living testimony. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I just thank God for life all by itself. You know, we so often take life for granted. We so often take the activity of our limbs for granted. But because of who Jesus is, we got a right to praise God. He's worthy. He's worthy to praise God. And I'm just a firm believer. If we know our daddy, we should know our sisters and brothers. Hello, somebody.
All right.
Thank you, Lord Jesus. So I'm going to ask that you all do me a favor and not look at my outward appearance, but I'm going to ask that you try my spirit to know whether or not I was sent by God to teach and preach the gospel of Jesus Christ.
All right.
Now, I talk a little fast, and I just wait your hand about to get a little fast. I slow down a little bit. But the Bible tells us in 1 John, the 4th chapter, verse 1, it said, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit to know whether or not it be of God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world.
All right.
So when I look over at Matthew, the 24th chapter, verses 4 through 8, as well as Mark, the 13th chapter, verses 5 through 8, both of those passages tells me to take heed, lest any man deceive you. Many should come in my name saying, I'm Christ, and saying, and they would deceive many. But when you hear wars and rumors of wars, be you not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. For the end is not yet. For nations shall rise against nations, and kingdoms against kingdoms, and there shall be earthquakes and pestilence, and famines in divers places. For all these things are just the beginning of sorrow. What went on with September the 11th, that was just the beginning of sorrow. So the Bible already told us, forewarned us what will come. So I said all that to say this. Try my spirit to know whether or not God sent me to teach and preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. Come on, give God a hand clap of praise. Amen. I want to invite you to go with me to 1 Samuel, the 30th chapter. And I'm going to expeditiously go through the first chapter, verse 1 through 19. And when you get it, just say, have your way, Lord. And if you don't have it, just say, wait on me.
Have your way.
Thank you. That's 1 Samuel, the 30th chapter. I'm going to start reading at verse 1. Thank you. So I had a little stuff there, so we'll bring it back.
It's on the board.
First Samuel, the 30th chapter. I'm going to start reading at verse 1. And you kind of see it a little bit back there, but it's pretty large back there. First Samuel, the 30th chapter, and verse 4. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. 30th chapter, verse 7, 3rd chapter, verse 1. And the word of the Lord tells us this. And it came to pass, when David and his men were coming to Ziklag on the 3rd day, that the Amalekites had invaded the south in Ziklag, and smitten Ziklag, and burned it with fire, and had taken the women captives that were therein. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. Now, in other words, what is telling us how the enemy came in. And they came in and they carried them away, but they didn't harm neither one of the children, the women, everything they took out, they didn't harm, but they took them away. And they burned the city of Ziklag. Verse 3 tells us, so David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captives. Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no more power to weep. Well, somebody said, no more power.
No more power.
No more power. It's sad when we lose our power. You know, even with electricity, if we lose the power in the home, we need power. The songwriter says, send down the power. We need power to do the will of God. Verse 5 said, and David's 2 wives were taken captives. Ahinoam, the Jezreelites, and the Abigail, the wife of Nabal, the Carmelite. And David was distressed. And David was greatly distressed. But the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters. But David encouraged himself in the Lord his God.
Amen.
Now notice how the Bible tells us how the men that were with David, they lost their wives, their families. David did too. So why in the world would they want to stone David? David lost his family as well. Sometimes we can look at the leader, the pastor, for everything. But how many know we got to talk to God for ourselves? Instead of them talking to God for themselves, they want to stone David. But the Bible tells me how David encouraged himself in the Lord. Sometimes we may not have the usher at the door to smile and tell us to come on in. Sometimes we may not have the choir to sing, you can make it. May not have the preacher around to tell us to hang on in there. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself in the Lord. And I can just imagine David, if you allow me to use my spiritual imagination, I can imagine David saying, boy, you better hang on in there. You know how good God is. You know where God brought you from. We cannot allow a situation to distract our focus. You cannot allow the easy to distract from where God is trying to take you to. We got to stay focused and keep the plan. The enemy came in and just burned up the city of Ziklag. But look what the Bible went on to tell us in verse 7. And David said to Abiathar the priest, Ahimelech's son, I pray thee, bring the head to the ephod. And Abiathar brought them to the ephod to David. And David inquired at the Lord, saying, shall I pursue after this troop? Yeah. Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them. Right. And without fail, recover all. Right. Now look at David, he inquired of God, what shall I do? He got the victory right there. All right. Because the Bible tells us, somebody say the Bible. The Bible. Proverbs the 3rd chapter verses 5 and 6 said, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge God, and he shall direct your path. Right. So David, he could have easily jumped in flesh when they came up against him. He could have easily stepped out of his character. But the Bible said David encouraged himself in the Lord, and after he got his spirit man together, he acknowledged God in all his ways. God shall I pursue. And when he acknowledged God, that's when you first got the victory. And not only did God speak a prophetic word to David and told him he shall recover all, he prophesied to David, told him you shall recover all. He gave David his answer, told him to pursue, overtake them, you're going to overtake them, and you shall recover all. Somebody say recover all. Recover all. So David went, he and the 600 men that were with him, and came to the brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed. Now look how it said those that were left behind. David started off with 600 men, but somebody got left behind. Don't you know you can't take care of everybody with you to your future? Right. Everybody not ready for the next level in God. And we got to know who we even fellowship with. Everybody that said, Lord, Lord, won't enter in. You can't take everybody to your destiny. So somebody got left behind. They started off with 600 men, but the Bible tells us here in verse 10, but David pursued, he and 400 men. See how he ended up with 400? But 200 abroad behind, which was so faint that they could not go over the brook Besor. And they found an Egyptian in the field, and brought him to David, and gave him bread, and he did eat, and they made him drink water. And they gave him a piece of a cake of figs and 2 clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, his spirit came again to him, for he had eaten no bread, nor drunk any water, 3 days and 3 nights. And David said unto him, to whom belong thou? And whence are thou? And he said, I am a young man of Egypt, servant to Amalekites, and my master left me, because 3 days ago I fell sick. He said, we made an invasion upon the south of the Cherethites, and upon the coast, which belonged to Judah, and upon the south of Caleb, and we burned Ziklag with fire. Look who they burned. And David said to him, canst thou bring me down to this company? And he said, swear unto me by God, that thou wilt neither kill me, nor deliver me unto the hands of my master, and I will bring thee down to this company. And when he had brought him down, behold, they were spread abroad upon all the earth, eating and drinking and dancing, because of all the great spoil that they had taken out of the land of the Philistines, and out of the land of Judah. And David smote them from the twilight even until the evening of the next day. And there escaped not a man of them, save 400 young men, which rose upon cameras and fled. Now, let me pause for a second here. Notice how David ran upon the Egyptian, how his men ran upon the Egyptian. But in order for them to run upon the Egyptian, something happened to the Egyptian. He got sick. When he took sick, his master left him. Don't you know nothing happened as God allowed to happen in your life? So if the Egyptian hadn't taken sick, his master would have never left him. Because God allowed him to get sick, he allowed the master to leave him. And if he had never left him, then David men would have never found him. Somebody said it was all in the plan. It was all in the plan. You got to know no matter what the enemy tried to come up against you with, no matter what happened in your life, nothing happened unless God allowed it to happen. But if I had to have a subject, would you look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, neighbor? The topic of the message is, Come on, talk to me now. The title of the message is, when your enemies come up against you, praise God in the house. Come on, give God a hand clap of praise in this house. Praise God in the house. That's what David did. He praised God in the house. Anyhow you want to bless me, God, I'll be satisfied. He could have had a pity party. He could have threw in the towel. He could have walked away from it all. But the Bible said David encouraged himself in his Lord God. And by him encouraging himself, he had to get his spirit man up. He had to get it out of Lodabar. And when he got himself together, then he was able to go and say, okay, God, what should I do at this point? And God allowed all of that to go on in David's life. But look at the last two verses, 18 and 19, what the Bible tells us. And David recovered all that the Amalekites had carried away, and David rescued his two wives. And there was nothing lacking to them, neither small nor great, neither sons nor daughters, neither spoil nor anything that they had taken to them. David recovered all. Somebody said recovered all. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading and hearing and the doing of his word. David recovered all. He went back to the enemy camp and he took back everything that the devil thought he had stolen from him. We got to take back everything that the devil thinks he's going to take away from us. But no, he have already taken away from us. You got to take back your marriage, take back your prayer life, take back your family. The enemy's out to attack families on every side. You got to take it back by force. You can't say, devil, give me my family back, give my prayer life back. No, you got to take it back by force. You got to tell the devil what the word of God says. You got to be holy boldness and say, God, you said in your word. And Isaiah the 59th chapter verse 19 says, they shall fear the name of the Lord from the west and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord will lift up a standard against him. God, that's what your word said. God, you promised me, God. And here is the 13th chapter verse 5 that you will never leave me nor forsake me. God, you promised me, God. In Psalms 126 and verse 5, those that sow in tears shall reap in joy. God, you promised me, God. And Numbers the 23rd chapter verse 19, that you are not a man that lie, nor the son of man that shall repent. Have you said it? Shall you do it? Have you spoken? Shall you make it good? God, you promised in your word. God promised in the Bible, in the house, anything that you want to stand on the promise of God. God promises is yea and amen. You got to know what the word of God says. So when the enemy come in like a flood, you got to know what God's word says. When your enemies come up against you, you got to praise God anyhow. Praise him anyhow. The Bible tells us in Exodus the 14th chapter and verse 14, for the Lord shall fight for you. You shall hold your peace. It's all right to be quiet sometimes. That don't mean you're a coward. That means you have already been delivered in that area. You just got to say, God, I'm putting it all in your hand. I'm putting it in your hand. We can't put it in God's hand and then go back and pick it up again. You got to put it in God's hand, let it stay there, and to praise him in the midst of everything that you're going through. The Bible tells me in Psalms 34, David said, in Psalms 34 verse 1, 2, and 3, David said, I will bless the Lord at all times, and his praise shall continue to be within my mouth. My soul shall make his boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear thereof and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. David wanted some praises in the house. What my conquerors said? What my prayer warriors said? Any prayer warriors in the house? Any conquerors in the house? They talked about Jesus. So who are we? So why? Because folks talk about you. You ain't got to stop the praise. No matter what, I'm going to praise my God. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. There was a young lady, an elderly lady in the church. Every Sunday night, she'll get up and testify. And she just said, it came and it passed. It came to pass. It came and it passed. So one day the pastor said, Mother, would you tell us what that means? It came to pass. It came to pass. She said those trials and tribulations, they came and they passed. So you got to know it's going to pass. It's going to pass. The songwriter said, trouble don't last always. Trouble don't last always. You can make it. And you're going to make it. No matter what. The devil can't stop your praise. You got to know what the doctor said. By his stripes, you are already healed. I'm healed in his name. You see, the Bible says death and life is in the power of the tongue. Proverbs the 18th chapter and verse 21. It lets me know I can speak life or I can speak death. But I want to live, so I can speak life. I got work to do. Come on, you got to hit on the praise of this house. Stand on your feet all over this building. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Yes, God. Yes, God. If you're in the need of a miracle, I don't care what it is, and you don't have to tell me because I'm not God. Thank you, Jesus. I ask that you meet me at this altar. If you're in the need of a special prayer, and you want me to touch and agree with you, I ask that you meet me at the altar. Thank you, Jesus. I've been teaching and preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ 20 plus years, traveling this world, teaching and preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. I got a personal relationship with God that I know when God is in the presence. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. If you want special prayer, I ask that you meet me at the altar. Thank you, Jesus. One thing about Evangelist Govan, I don't beg people to come to the altar for prayer. Because although I'm evangelist, I'm still standing in the need of prayer every day because I need God every second, every minute. I need the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. I know I can't make it without God. Thank you, Jesus. 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 Yes, God. Yes, God. Thank you, Jesus. Yes, God. Yes, God. Yes, God. Yes, Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. I hear God say, turn my spirit to no other than I was sent by God. I hear the Lord say, turn my spirit Yes, God. Yes, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Yes,
All right.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Glory.
Thank you, Jesus.
It's not over.
We thank you, Jesus.
Not over. Hallelujah. Don't tell me it's not over. Hallelujah. All right. people in this building that have a sinful depression. I don't know whether you're real. I don't know whether you're not. Do you want to know deliverance and freedom from those things you doubt? Those things you want to know? Those things you'd like to understand? That the devil tell you, no, you can't have it. It's not for you. Anybody in here like that? If you don't come out, I'm going to come get you.
Hallelujah.
Are you shouting?
Hallelujah.
Are you afraid?
Praise your name. Praise your name.
We bind Satan on every hand. We send them back to the pit of hell. Oh, my God, Jesus. We bind
I can
them.
praise you.
Yes, Lord.
I can
Yes,
enjoy you.
Lord. Yes, God.
Mind every power.
Yes,
Never
Lord.
again.
Yes, Lord.
Help us, Lord, to rejoice in you.
Yes, Lord.
To be happy in you.
Yes, Lord.
And realize you are our deliverer, our Savior, our God.
Yes, God.
Hallelujah. The love of our life.
Yes, Lord Jesus.
Glory to the Lamb.
Yes, Lord.
Thank you, Jesus.
Glory to the Lamb.
Thank you.
Glory to the Lamb. Hallelujah.
Come on, tell the devil you're free. Free. Free in Jesus' name.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Praise your name.
Hallelujah. Where do I go from here?
Praise. Praise.
Hallelujah. There was a time that David, after Saul had done some things, they brought one to Saul, to David, and David said, I'm going to give him back everything that had been taken away from him. I'm going to give it back to him. You see, the victory and the joy and forgiveness has been given 2,000 years ago. But don't think I can just say 2,000 years ago. Today is a day of salvation. And what he gave me then, I can have it now. I can have it now. I can have it now. Amen. God bless you. How many of you enjoyed this?